Randy, I've lost track, man. I
Oh,
totally lost track. Is baseball still going? No, I haven't seen the World Series yet, so baseball must still be going on.
it's the never-ending baseball season. Yeah, that'll go until after Halloween. Typically, it's anymore. It almost bumps into Thanksgiving. Wow. But yeah, we're smack dab in the middle of August, I guess one of the hottest months of the year. And so
Yeah.
school is just around the corner for a lot of the youngins.
Yep.
Yeah, lots happening.
Yeah.
But a couple of times a week, I get together with Teddy Burriss. My name's Randy Wooden. We have a little Monday get together for about 15 minutes, talk about some stories, some tips, talk about our guest coming up on Wednesday. He's actually works for the same organization I do, so we'll get into that here in a little bit. But it's going to be an interesting topic then. But we also have a great guest. In addition to Timothy, we've got some other great guests coming up. By the way, we've got some presidents of universities coming up, Teddy. So you better straighten up, straighten the old tie up.
I'm gonna hang my diploma from my preschool right there, man.
Go ahead and do that. Why don't you introduce yourself, and then I'll dive into my crack research results from earlier in the day.
A lot of work. Hey, for those who've never heard of me, I'm Teddy Burriss. It says right there on the screen. And I'm a LinkedIn strategist, trainer, and coach. I'm a Google workspace consultant, teaching people how to use those tools as business tools, doing one-on-one coaching, corporate training programs, webinars and seminars and workshops. And heck, I'll sit on any bar stool in any bar and share tips with you.
I've seen you do that. Yes.
Yeah, on a regular basis. Yeah. So a couple times a week, Randy and I get together and we cut up and play around, and we bring ideas and we bring some tips. So Randy, tell us about your the research you did this week, man.
Every time we get together on Monday, we talk about some births, deaths in famous events. And where I can, I try to work in a little trivia to see if I can stump you on this. And I think I may have a couple of them today. So let's dive in.
Okay.
On this date, on August 15th, Napoleon Bonaparte was born on this date, 17.
Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to laugh. I'm sorry, man.
What are we in third grade again, Teddy? No, but Napoleon, a French emperor, was born on this date, 1769. But here we go with Ben Affleck, actor, 1972. Yeah. But here are a couple of them. This fellow was born in 1925. His real name was Craigor Ohanian.
He's a bus driver.
He was an actor. He was Mannix. Remember Mike Connors, the actor? Well, that was his real name. Yeah. That was his real name, Mannix. I always liked that show as a kid. And also born on this day, 1985. This fellow's name, and he's since passed away, but his name was Ermias Asgedom.
Wait a minute, 1985, and he's already passed away?
Yeah, he was. I think he was shot. Yeah.
Ernest who?
Don't make me pronounce that. Anyway, the guy's, he was a rapper. His stage name was Nipsey Hussle. And just to show you how out of touch I am with modern culture, and I shouldn't laugh, but I'm laughing at myself on this. And he died in 2019. And I saw the news article, and I thought, at first glance, it was Nipsey Russell. And I remember him from the Match Game and all the shows back when, back in the day. And
my grandma told me about those shows.
But anyway, so I thought it was Nipsey Russell, but no, Nipsey Hussle died on this date. I think he was shot. Deaths on this date. Here's somebody you've heard of by name, but you don't know what they did. Wiley Post died on this date, 1935. Wiley Post.
Yeah, no idea.
I first thought he was a writer. Yeah. Now, I don't know why I thought that. Man, he was the first guy to do a solo flight around the world.
Oh, Lordy.
And by the way, he died in a plane crash. And no joke, he died in a plane, but he was first guy to go around the world in solo in an airplane.
Yeah.
And also on this date, it was a death in 1910. Konstantin Fahlberg passed away.
Was he a vampire?
I think maybe in his spare time, but when he wasn't a Russian chemist, maybe that's what he did. But he discovered saccharin, the artificial sweetener that a lot of us use. It shows up in a lot of products. Some people are allergic to it, but for a sugar substitute, anyway, there's that. A few events on this date. Biggest one was 1945 victory over Japan, end of World War II. Big one. 1969 Woodstock. in New York, got started.
The first Woodstock.
Yeah, 69. Also, and this was a big deal back in the day. Now we think, whatever. But in 1870, the Transcontinental Railway was completed in Colorado. When you think about it, we didn't have, airplanes flying around and, fast cars and everything else. And, we had a big country to connect. And this was a way to connect East Coast to West Coast. Yeah. Also on this date, not that I use this stuff, but I remember my mom had it. My mom and dad always had this big vat of Crisco.
A 5-gallon bucket.
Yeah, it was this white slippery stuff, and you put it in there. It's almost like butter. Wow. Anyway, Procter & Gamble introduced this thing back in 1911. So there's that. Quick story for you. You'd have to be blind and whatever to have not seen in the news the last 3 weeks, just the number of people that have passed away. People who were famous, celebrities, whatever. More so what I'll call our age, Teddy. People that we knew and looked up to for a variety of reasons when we were much younger. And whether it was Bill Russell, Olivia Newton-John, you got Vin Scully, and just other ones. Seems like every week. And I guess it's just a reminder that we're all mortal, and a reminder of our mortality. And as much as we'd like to think we're invincible, we're not. Yeah, and so just appreciate what you have.
That's one of the reasons why I've slowed down paying my bills.
Oh, really?
I mean, if I'm past doing a bunch of bills, I'm dead. What are they going to do about it?
Probably nothing.
Yeah, it's stupid.
Just make sure you pay your internet bill, Teddy, because otherwise that's a demise of our show.
I get that. That's auto paid.
Okay, that's good.
So, but it's important. I mean, I get it, man.
Yeah.
We joke about it all the time. I mean, before we started today's segment, we said, "Oh my God, it's the 15th. It's halfway through August, and we just finished July.
Yeah,
what is that all about?" So,
I don't know.
But hey, here's my story for you, man.
Yep.
I got this whole other program I'm building. That's this another podcast I'm putting together called Open Conversations. Later today, I'm doing another segment in Open Conversations. And then here's the title. Why do people do what they do on social media? And you know what I'm talking about, man. You post something on social media, and the next thing you know is you've opened a can of worms for people to argue and fight and snort, and and why do they do that? And so it's going to be here's what's really cool. I got one of our guests, man. One of our guests, Melissa Hughes, she's a human behaviorist. She's going to be on that show.
Nice.
With 2 branding professionals and a dude who gets on social media and trolls. He only goes on there to start arguments. So that's coming up. We're going to record that later.
Great guy to hang around at parties with, I tell you. What does he do for a real job?
He's a business professional.
Okay. I hope he has a fake account.
But he gets on social media and trolls. But anyway, it's going to be one of my first big podcasts called Open Conversations.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to doing that later today. So, hey, man, who's our guest this week?
Well, I can't exactly tie this into being a troll, but I can kind of tie it into controversy. Okay, controversy. Yeah. So I work for Goodwill Industries, Northwest North Carolina. And coming up on Wednesday the 17th, our Chief People Officer, essentially what we'll call the VP of HR. He's our top officer in the human side of our business. His name is Timothy Howell. And Timothy's going to talk about a very timely topic. Everywhere you go, social media, the news, whatever, it's controversy, it's politics, it's inflation, it's social justice, it's this politician is wrong or evil, this one is wrong or evil, and all of that. And so how does, from a corporation standpoint and an HR standpoint, how does HR address that in the workplace? What are some best practices for allowing for some level of what we'll call going there conversation?
Open discussion.
Open discussion. How is that from a corporate standpoint? What are some best practices? How does it all play out? What are the legal issues with it? And then what are some real world things that seem to have worked and other ones maybe that haven't worked in the past? So he's going to share some of those stories. And also, if you're a worker and let's say you don't want to be part of those conversations, what are some tips to avoid that and kind of keep your distance? I know we had Lita Citron on a few weeks ago to share a little bit about that. So we'll dive a bit deeper, but Timothy he's sharp and he's in a position to know because he's run organizations before and has had to make those tough calls. So, and you know what, Teddy, share one other thing with you. Before he moved here to our area to come to work with Goodwill, he actually also hosted a midday show in another city. And so when I shared our premise and the show and all, he's like, man, this is great. I'm really looking forward to it. So yeah, Timothy, you'll be here on Wednesday.
Let's make sure, Randy, that we bring in open conversations about salaries, because a lot of companies say you're not allowed to talk about your salary at work or with workers. But then a lot of other organizations are saying, we don't have a problem if you talk about it. I mean, it has been, I've seen that in the news not too long ago. Might be worth bringing up with Timothy. Yeah. And I hope his expectations are not too high about the value of our show.
I tried my best to keep them low. So yeah, we'll be in good shape.
Yeah, 11:55 a.m. on Wednesday. And this week is coming up on the 17th.
I had a quick tip for you. And this, I think we've shared this it deals with emails.
Yeah.
And it's same. Well, I'm tied back into the social media thing. Teddy says something. Next thing I'm on my computer, you son of a Teddy, I can't stand you. And I'm pecking away.
I've gotten those text messages.
And I hit send. And I'm like, yeah, I got him. Don't do that. And when it's an email, especially if when you are typing the email, you are angry or feeling slighted in some way or what have you, make sure that you don't fill in the to section. Okay. Wait until you've typed out the email, review it. And you know what? If it's really, and I've had this happen before with other people where they've regretted sending it, you're like, oh man, ugh. But if it's really something that's a kind of a heat of the moment thing, why not just save it as a draft?
Yeah.
And when you get up the next day and you're at peace a little bit more, take some time to review it. And you may find that some of the tone in that email needs to be changed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because again, email is difficult to read someone's tone in, unless, if it's all caps, that's one thing, but you make sure that you take time to say what you mean in a way that you mean to convey it. And that may help you slow down. And it may be one less thing in life that you'll regret, as you move forward. So keep that in mind when you're doing emails. And also on social media, I don't know how close I've been several times to just going, this guy needs a piece of my mind.
Yeah.
Because he's obviously missing part of his, but you try to
maybe not.
Yeah.
Maybe not. So, hey, by the way, and back in 2000 or 2001, a lawyer, a corporate lawyer, was drafting Chapter 11 bankruptcy documents. And he had this huge email that he wrote. He was on the West Coast of and the U.S. And he went and wrote that email real quick. And he wanted to hit all executives, because back in the day, you had all executives, all employees, whatever. And he sent it to all executives, hit send. And at 5 o'clock on the West Coast, he went home and didn't even think about it. Next Monday morning, 7 o'clock in the East Coast, I get this email to all employees from the attorney who's drafting a Chapter 11 document. Slow down when you're sending emails like that, and make sure you're sending to the right person. I'm with you, man. Don't be real careful.
Yeah.
So, hey, here's my tip, Randy. I may have mentioned this to you before. I'm reading this book, really a real book, man. Real pages.
Wow, nice.
It's called
I'm impressed.
Atomic Habits.
Okay.
Atomic Habits. And I've been told over and over again I should read this book. Look, this book is phenomenal. I'm not advocating this because I make any money off this guy's book. But he talks about setting habits, and he has 4 really cool philosophies about setting habits. Make them obvious, make them attractive, make them easy to execute, and make them satisfying. Now, it sounds bizarre to have habits that are obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. But when you read this book, and he talks about all these these 4 different attributes, it's pretty freaking cool. So that's my tip. Read a book about habits. So good stuff, man. So So look, go off and have a decent lunch. Have a good day, and I will see you at 11:55 a.m. on Wednesday with Timothy Howell. And
Yep.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be lively too. I almost guarantee you, because it's a hot topic to show. Yeah, I hope you can join us, folks. We'll see you on Wednesday.
All right, buddy. I'll talk to you later.
Yep.
Bye.